Back. Officials unveiled MSUM's long-range facilities plan today. The goal is to achieve carbon neutrality and enhanced learning spaces. The plan could potentially be going on for the next 20 years. Officials say MSUM's campus will sell land, produce its own electricity, and provide a positive as well as innovative learning experience on campus.
All of that adds up to thriving economic development for the region, financial prosperity for the individuals that come here. When they leave here, they're going to be well positioned to get really good paying jobs.
The plan is set to be re-evaluated every 5 years. So far, the only finalized portion is Weld Hall in the Alumni Center. The plan could cut down on operating costs by more than $6 million.
Pfizer has announced the end of what they call a promising trial for its RSV vaccine. And if approved, we could be seeing availability for young patients by next winter. In this study, not yet published or peer-reviewed, 7,400 pregnant participants were given a single shot of the vaccine during the late second or third trimester of their pregnancy. Pfizer says the vaccine was 82% effective at preventing severe illness in babies and 70% effective in preventing severe RSV in infants for 6 months. Pediatric hospitals across the country are still seeing an above-average number of hospitalizations from the disease.
Looking back at pictures, you could see it in her eyes that they were just like puffy. I was in panic mode. It was terrifying.
If approved, Pfizer's RSV vaccine will be the first related to the common respiratory virus in over 2 decades. Up next in sports, we talk with NDSU players who are gearing up for a road game with the Leathernecks.